And the second major thing which I learned from like even my partner rounds is it's okay even if you do not complete a case. So for instance, in my second partner round, we had this really complicated case and it was extremely long. And even the partner like was not very forthcoming with the
So, hello guys, welcome to the part two of our third podcast with Ms. Tiasha Mitra. So, in the part one, we discuss about her experience with the McKinsey and Company, and in this podcast, we'll be discussing about her experience with BCG. So, hello Tiasha, welcome once again.
Hi
So,
Jalaj, how's it going?
it's going good. So, we'll come to the main question again, like previous one. So, what was your interview experience with BCG?
Right. So, like we said in the part one, I think BCG and McKinsey's case interview in specific were very similar in general, which means that the kind of industries they tackled or the kinds of problem statements they gave us was similar. I think one major difference between BCG and McKinsey was that McKinsey has this personal interview round, but BCG does not really have a personal interview round. So the entire focus on BCG is primarily on cases and how you solve these different cases and how you tackle different industries throughout the rounds. Also, BCG has an evaluative buddy process, and that plays a part in your shortlisting itself. So I think these were the primary
Okay.
differences from what I said earlier.
Okay. So again, the basic question, like again, this is also having a CV shortlisting round. So what according to you, BCD considers the metrics to shortlist their candidates?
Right. So again, like I said, that the metrics are not really disclosed, and CG spikes or extracurricular spike, academic spikes, etc., are generally what was seen in like through all the candidates who were shortlisted. However, I also think that it places a slightly lesser emphasis on CG because from what I have seen from my friends in other colleges, even people with let's say a lesser than 8.5 CG were shortlisted and even got into the company. So I think a lot they
Okay.
focus on a more well-rounded CV in general. However, obviously, since they do not disclose their criteria, this is only what I'm speaking from my personal experience and what I've seen around.
Okay. Oh, fair enough. So, okay, like you also mentioned about there's a evaluative buddy round in this PCG.
Right.
So what's different? How was the difference to McKinsey process, and what was you learning from this buddy round?
Right. So for us, what happened was that first they shortlisted, let's say, around 30 people through a CV shortlisting round. After that, they held a PPT and then they had two rounds of buddy cases throughout spread throughout the week. So now these buddy cases were not like extremely tough cases. They were very basic level cases, at least for us. They had like profitability cases or market entry cases, and they were fairly straightforward and they were more telephonic rounds. I think two of my interviews were telephonic rounds. However, some people had like video call rounds and all of those. Since because of the pandemic, we don't really know. In these telephonic rounds, you essentially had to solve a case like you would in an actual interview, but the cases were much simpler in general and much more straightforward. So I think the one big learning from this was that in a telephonic round, or let's say in a video call round, people can't really see how you are solving or the way like you're drawing your issue tree or way you're writing your stuff down. So whatever you are solving, you have to tell it to them. So I think
Okay.
communication, especially a step-by-step communication, becomes key in like getting shortlisted from the buddy round and even get a chance at the interviews. And so I think that is something which is really important when you're solving a case. Essentially having to
Okay.
convey it to them step by step.
Okay, you conveyed this very clearly. That was very nice. So, moving towards the main interview rounds, the preliminary and the partner round. So,
Right.
what was the experience with those? And as you already mentioned, these are just case rounds. So,
Right.
how was your learning, and how much long were the rounds also? Like, what was the duration of the
Right.
rounds?
Right. So for me, the rounds like lengths varied a lot, but I think on an average they were like the preliminary rounds were on average for me 30 to 40 minutes, and the partner rounds on an average about 1 hour. for me. So
Okay.
now I think we had 4 rounds, I think. And in two of my rounds, I was asked two cases. So in my very first preliminary round, I had two cases. One was a very short case and it was fairly straightforward. The second case in that round was extremely complicated and I could not really complete it. And they had like different industries like airline industries or let's say an agriculture industry, and they spanned a lot of different industries throughout the 4 rounds. I think one big learning was that even if you make a mistake, or even if you make, let's say, an error like conveying. So, for example, in one of my rounds, I made a mistake in conveying million billion, and that is generally
Okay.
considered like a big mistake. However, as long as you clarify it immediately, and as long as you do the other parts well, it does not really go against you that much. So that is something which obviously you should take care of, but not really think that your chance has been lost or like you have given up. So do not really give up even if you make a mistake. Just try to rectify it and move on, and do not get nervous or flustered. So that is
Okay.
one major thing which I learned. And whenever I was asking for a piece of information, they were asking me as to why do you want this information? Or what will you do with
Oh.
this information? Why are you asking for this? And at every juncture, they would make me question it just so that I could have a better workflow or a better a chain of thought. And while that could have gone in the other way as to me doubting myself, instead I just
Mhm.
explained whatever I was doing. And if they seemed okay with it, then I just moved on. And I could not really complete that case because even after 1 hour, since there were two cases even in that round, even after 1 hour, there was not enough time and we had reached only about half the case. And they did not
Oh.
really mind. They just wanted to see if I was approaching the correct solution or not, or if my pathway would eventually lead to the correct answer. So I think one major takeaway for me was that it's okay to not be able to solve it as long as you are doing the process and everything in the process correctly.
Okay. That's very nice.
It. Like it's obviously the best case scenario if you can solve all cases. That's like the best case scenario. But sometimes it does
Mhm.
not work out that way because maybe the partner just does not want you to reach a solution because they want to see how well you work under a pressure scenario. So that
Mhm.
might be something which is happening.
Okay. So yeah, this pretty much sums up कि यार दो round हो गए, BCG हो गया, McKinsey हो गया. So like, what was your final learning from whole process of this BCG McKinsey things? And we have already discussed about the differences between the two. But what are the similarities between the two? Like how are they all similar? And like there's an kind of a hype or something like the McKinsey interviews are comparatively supportive than BCG in the market, kind of thing.
Right. So for me, I did not really see a big difference in the pattern of the interviews themselves. I think let's first talk about the similarities and then we move on to what the minor differences were. So I think in terms of like the similarities, I think the way we solve the cases is very similar.
Mhm.
So for instance, the only thing which they give you at the beginning of the round is just a problem statement. So the way we
Okay.
solved it was essentially like asking about the problem statement, clarifying every single word, regardless of whether or not you know it, and asking for information upfront so that you do not really start solving a wrong case because that puts a very negative impression on what you're trying to solve. And having the
Okay.
information upfront is the best thing. So always like make very neat notes, and that's one
Mhm.
major takeaway which I had like even throughout my practice and even through my interviews, making very neat
Okay.
notes so that all of the information that the people give us or the interviewers give us is fit into the right places and we do not forget any of the things. The second thing is
Oh.
having a very structured approach. So let's say even if it's like a very unconventional case and you don't really understand about what is going on and what to do
Mhm.
in this case, just trying to map out, like taking some time to yourself, trying to map out as to what should logically be the best case scenario, and then iterating it based on new information which you get, or like modifying based on like what other information you are asking, or like maybe the case has taken a different turn and you have to solve a different thing. So all of these iterations should be incorporated during practice. I think another similarity which I had was like the kind of industries which we had to do or the kind of mock interviews. So this was something which
Okay.
I learned from my preparation phase as well, that we have to do as many mock interviews with our friends or with our batchmates or with other people who are preparing as possible.
Mhm.
Since every interviewer has a very different style. So some people, let's say,
Mhm.
might seem disinterested in what you are saying and you might become discouraged. However, they are actually listening to you and they are just checking
Mhm.
about checking whether or not you get disoriented. Other people might seem
Mm-hmm.
extremely friendly, but they might also be judging you at the same time a lot. So just do not
Okay.
really get discouraged by what the interviewers facial expressions are or what their mannerisms are. Instead, like try
Okay.
to create a best impression on them. And I think this was similar across the board for all of the interviewers which I faced, and even in terms of like the cases, etc., which we got. I think a
Okay.
difference which I had between McKinsey and BCG is that McKinsey focused a lot on personal stuff as well, which is to say that they would poke you and ask you to like elaborate on what your successes were or what your failures were in order to get to know you as a person as well, and that played an equal weightage to the cases. And I think BCG
Mm.
focused a lot on cases and problem solving, and they did not really have like this personal interview round. So I think that was also like a major difference between these two. But apart from that, the
Okay.
whole supportive thing, I do not really see a big difference in those. I think both of the interviewers were extremely nice to me, and all of them were very supportive in throughout the cases. So I do
Okay. So
not
this
really
is
see
definitely a myth according to you.
right. Yes.
Okay. So how did you prepare yourself for the consulting career? Okay. Thank you, Tiyasha, for having with this interview with us and sharing your experience with BCG.
Right.
So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.